Let's look at some simple document posting in SAP Financial Accounting. Let's post some simple finance documents. First, we'll post a GL document. Now, the menu path to post a GL document is Accounting, Financial Accounting, General Ledger, Posting, and Enter GL account document. Now, this screen is also called the Enjoy screen or SAP Enjoy screen. They're calling it Enjoy because the screen is quite easy to enter the details. Now, first you will enter the document date. So you can put the document date. It can be today's date or actually the day you're going to do the document posting. It's up to you. So I'm just going to put a document date. You can specify which currency you're going to post the document in. You can give a reference over here. I'm just going to give some random reference. You can give a document header text. And you can give the GL account number. Now I'm just going to do a transaction between the bank account to my petty cash account. So I'm going to go and select the bank account over here. So I'm just going to click on, I'll put my company code over here, search. Okay, I'm going to transfer between my ANZ bank to my petty cash account. So it's going to be a credit to my bank account. I'm going to transfer $1,000. And over here, I'm going to select my petty cash account. You can also click on F4 in your keyboard and the search option will come up. Okay, all the GL accounts that has been created will be displayed. I'm going to select my petty cash account and I'm going to give the same amount debit. So like this, you can give as many entries as you want. But important thing is all the debits and credits has to total up correctly. Now in this screen you also have given the option to give tax codes. So if your account is tax liable, then you can give the tax code. We'll look at tax codes later on. For now we'll just enter the basic information. Now you can click on enter in your keyboard and just mention if there's anything like example system is just giving a message saying check if the document date is in the future. If you put a date like in 2020 instead of 2016, then system will give this message. Okay, now you can see the total debits are equal to total credits. So you have got a green icon. That means it's ready to go. And you can also see there are 2 ticks here, which means this document is ready to get posted. This is just a simple journal document posting between 2 GL accounts. You can see the document type is already displayed here. You can change the document type, but recommended not to. Just use the same document type, that is SA, given by SAP, a standard document type for GL account document postings. Now if you wanted to change the company code in the screen, now you can see by default it's showing as company code Z123. You can click on this icon, company code, and you can put your whatever the company code you want to do for this posting. Similarly, you have got another option to edit the screen. So you've got the editing options. If you click on that, you can see there are given so many editing options are given over here. For example, do you want to display the document type option? Now we have given the option to display it. So SA document type is getting displayed. You can even hide that document type. There are so many other things like you can only enter the document in your local currency. That means the currency will not be visible for you to change the currency. And there are many other options are given over here. So we will not do any changes over here. We leave it as it is. We scroll down, there are also many other options are there. We will not do any changes to that. We will press the go back button. Okay. Now let's simulate the document. So simulate is an option before you actually post it in the system. So if you want to post it, you go to click this icon, posting. If you can always simulate the document just to see how the entries will look like. So a posting key of 50, this is the GL account number, this is the short text, posting here 40, that is your debit. GL account number, this is your short text of the GL account, and the amounts are there. And these are all the header information, these are all the line item information. And if everything is okay, then you can post it. So to post, click on the save button, that is the post icon. And once it gets posted, system will generate a message saying the document has been posted. You will get it somewhere around the bottom left hand side of your screen. Okay, now you got a message saying document many zeros was posted in company code Z123. Now immediately you can display this document in the system by going to click on document and display. And you can see the document has been displayed. Now as we discussed earlier, some documents you can change certain fields. So if you want to change some fields, or if you just want out of curiosity to see which fields you can change, click on this icon, the one with the pencil and a pair of spectacles. Okay, now it's allowing you the change mode. So let's just double click a line item to see what you can change. And you can see the amount and all these other information you cannot change. You can only change some of the fields like assignment number, the text, and the value dates. So we'll not do any changes, we just go back and your document is displayed over here. Just click on save to proceed. Yep, no changes were made. So that's how you post a simple document in SAP for general ledgers. Let's post a vendor document now. The menu path is accounting, financial accounting. Vendor is coming under accounts payable, document entry, and invoice. Just execute that transaction by double clicking it. Here you can enter the company code Z123 and enter. So similar to the GL document screen, this is a very easy screen to enter because all the necessary details you can see. You can enter the vendor ID, the invoice date, the posting date, amount, and the offsetting GL account details. Now to post a vendor entry, there must be a vendor already created in the system. So let's check if there's a vendor already there. So click on the search icon. Now let's check by your company code because we're going to post it against your company code, and the vendor has to be there in this company code. So put the company code, click on this tick icon. Okay, and there's already one vendor created. So double click that and the vendor ID appears over here. Now here we can specify the invoice date. The invoice date is actually the invoice we received from a vendor. Now in this example, let's think of a scenario that we have bought some stationery items from this vendor yesterday or day before yesterday. So we'll want to put that day's invoice date. So for now, let's put an invoice date like this. Posting date also, you can put the same date as you receive the invoice date, or you can even put the current date. So we'll just leave this as it is. And the document type, now by default, because this is a vendor invoice, we'll use the same document type. We're not going to change the document type. The reference. Now when a vendor gives you an invoice, there must be a number in that, some receipt number or some invoice number over there. So let's put that number which you saw in the vendor's invoice. For example, I'm just giving some random number over here. Now we have bought some item for maybe $200. So I'm just going to put $200. I'll keep the currency in Australian dollars. Let's say the vendor is in Australia and I bought the item from that vendor. We're not going to specify any tax amounts for now. We'll just enter the basic details. And here I can give some example. Maybe I'll say I bought some papers and some other stationery items. You can give some text over here. This is the document header level. Now here you need to specify the expense account. Now we have not created any expense account as of yet, so let's go and create one expense GL account for stationery items. So click on create new session. The transaction to create a GL account centrally is FS00. Key in and press enter. When you did the account structure setup, the expense accounts start with number 5. So let's put a ID, probably something like this. Put our company code, by default it's coming, and click on this create icon. So I'm going to choose it's an expense type. Now expenses are a P&L statement account type. It's not in the balance sheet. Revenue and expenses are P&L statement accounts. I'm going to call this expense account as office supplies. Type it in here. Okay. For control data, I'm going to leave the currency as it is. I'm not going to tick anything over here, but I'm going to click on line item display because I want to see the line item details of these accounts. Sort key, I'll type the general 001, which is the posting date, which automatically comes over here in the assignment field. In the create bank interest tab, I'm going to type in G001, which is your standard field status group setting. Click on save, just giving the minimal information just to create one expense account over here. And you got the message saying the data is saved. Now let me go and enter the expense account over here, 501 000. If you don't know the account, of course you can always go and search it. Now remember the accounting transaction, because it's an invoice, the accounting entries are vendor credit, expense account debit, so that's why it's automatically, you can see the debit indicator is already here. So debit amount also 200. And you can press enter in your keyboard, and that is giving some information saying that this date is in the past. It's okay, you can ignore it. So if you get normal warning messages like this, just press enter again. Okay, and you can see that you got a tick mark over here, which means all these entries are correct, and debits and credits are okay. That's why you got a balance of 0, and you got the green icon. This means you're ready to proceed. You can directly post this entry now. Let's just go and click on simulate again, just to see how the entries will look like in the system. So you got the vendor ID over here, you got the GL account over here, and the amounts are given over here. Now click on the save icon to post, and the document has been posted. If you want to display the document, click on document, display, and then you can see the document is displaying with the details. That's how you post a simple vendor document in the system. Now let's look at posting a simple customer document. For example, you have sold some item to customer, so we'll post those entries in SAP. So the menu path is accounting, financial accounting, accounts receivable, document entry, invoice. Transaction code for that is FB70. Double click on that to execute. Okay. Just like those GL account screen and vendor account screen, it's pretty much a similar screen. And what you need to enter only is displayed over here. So it's quite easy to enter for anyone. So we need to enter the customer ID. So let's click on this icon to select the customer. Click on this tab because we want to enter it for our company code. By default, if your company code does not appear, then type in your company code and click on this icon to search, or press enter in your keyboard. Okay, and there are some customers created, so let's just choose this customer, ABC company. Okay, and the customer ID automatically appears over here. Now you can put on the invoice date, you can put in a previous date or even today's date, it's up to you. Posting date also you can change. You can give a reference, you can give some information, maybe it's if you're selling some item to your customer, you can give your own custom invoice number or any other number. So I'm just going to type something like this. You can give the amount, how much item you have sold, the amount of the items you have sold, mention like that. And let's say you have sold something, so you can just mention sold product A, just as an example. We're not going to mention any tax amounts for now. We'll just do a simple posting with the basic data. We're not going to go to any of the detailed tabs for now. And you need to specify a revenue account for offsetting. You can see the normal entries is customer debit, revenue account credit. You can see the document type is DR, just like we saw KR for vendor, it's DR for customer invoice. By default it's appearing. Let's not go and change anything, leave it as it is. And we need to specify the revenue account. Now if there's no revenue account already created, let's go and create a GL account now. Okay, the GL account transaction code is FS00, key in and press enter. Now we have specified in our accounting structure that GL accounts for revenue starts with a 4, so I'm going to give it as 401000000. Company code by default is already coming there. Click on this create icon. Account group, select revenue. Revenue and expenses are P&L statement account, so we'll just leave it as it is. Short text, so I'm going to type in sales from product A. Just give any example you can give over here. For control data, I'm going to leave the currency information as it is, not going to change any settings over there. Click on line item display, enter the sort key as 001. Create bank interest. Maybe just to change the information for sort key, probably I put a different number. Maybe something like, let's see, if you have anything interesting. Last time we put posting date, this time we'll put document number and fiscal year. So this will populate the assignment field. Click on create bank interest. We'll just use a general field status group G001. Just filling up the minimal data just to execute the transaction and click on save. Now the GL account for revenue has been created, 401000. Just go and enter that over here now. Credit, we leave it as it is. Another trick is if you don't want to enter 600, or let's say you have a very large number with a lot of decimals and you feel a bit lazy to type in over here, you can just enter the asterisk sign on your keyboard. It's like a small star, and press enter. Net due date is in the past, it's just a system information message. Press enter on your keyboard. And you can see the 600 automatically comes over here. Whatever amount or the total off balancing amount will automatically appear over here. And you can also see the customer's information is also appearing over here with the company details and the information over here. And if this customer has been given any bank details, those information also will be coming over here. If there's any existing open items, which means if any existing items pending from that customer also will be listed over here, and you can click on that and view that. For now, we'll be just looking at posting the basic information for this transaction. So everything is okay. You got a tick mark over here. You got a green icon, which means balances equals to 0. The balances means the debits are equal to the credits. Click on simulate just to see the information. You can see the information is all here. The document header information, the line item information, the ABC company, that's the ABC company's ID, your revenue GL account, the amounts, and click on this save icon to post the document. And you're getting a message saying the document was posted in company code Z123. Now you can click on document and display. You can see the document has been posted. Now to see the detailed information of this, you can always click over here, any of the line items. And you can see this assignment field has been populated. Remember when we selected the sort key, we mentioned the sort key 002, which was the document number plus fiscal year. So you can see the document number is mentioned. That is the document number we saw earlier. This is the document number, and the fiscal year was 2016. You can see here 2016. So that's how it's been populated. So that's the purpose of the sort key. Now you're having a better idea what the sort key does. It just populates the assignment field, whatever the sort key identifier you choose for the GL account. For this GL account, we chosen the sort key identifier 002, which was document number and fiscal year. So it populated this assignment field with that information. Similarly, when you set up the vendor master also or the customer master also, you can specify what's the sort key to enter, and that will populate the assignment field. And that's how you enter a customer document in SAP. A simple document using the FB70 transaction code. So we saw how to post a GL document using the transaction code FB50, a simple GL document with the basic information. And we saw how to create a vendor document also using the transaction code FB60, and using the customer document posting with the transaction code FB70. Very easy to remember: FB50 for GL, FB60 for vendor, FB70 for customer. Now you'll be using this FB60 transaction code only if the vendor document is not, or let's say it's a vendor invoice, is not via a purchase order. So we'll be coming to a purchase order later onwards, but for now, if you just have a normal vendor invoice posting, you'll be using this FB60 document. Similarly, in customers, if you don't raise an invoice, customer invoice via a sales order, then you can use this transaction to do an invoicing via the financial accounting module. For the purpose of this course, we'll only be looking at the FB50, FB60 and FB70 transactions. You'll not be asked any questions directly on how to execute these transactions, but as a general, if SAP FI consultant or end user, you should know how to use these transactions. By now, we should be able to know how to create a GL account, how to create a vendor master, how to create customer master, how to define the fiscal year variants, the posting periods, open and closing posting periods, all the basic necessary settings to go ahead and post these entries. You should be familiar with it by now. So for your assignment, try post a GL document using FB50, a vendor document using FB60, and post a customer document using FB70. Make sure the relevant master data, that is your GL master data, the vendor master data, and customer master data are all created in the system before you go and proceed. Also importantly, make sure the posting periods are open for whatever year you're going to go and post to. Make sure you have assigned your company code to the relevant fiscal year variant, the posting period variant, and to the chart of accounts. Go back to the previous presentations and make sure all the settings are in place before you start ahead with these postings.